I feel like I linger between the words to say the words to remember.
Hey guys, this video is going to be about the King of Combat, Okubo Nemaya, versus somebody that we don't really see that often in Baki, or we don't really hear him talked about, Sampierre Atlas. So you may think this matchup is going to be incredibly simple. And it is. Okubo wins. It's really that simple, you know. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. You know, it's really exciting because they're both, you know, MMA fighters. They're both mixed martial artists. They basically serve the same role, so to speak, in their respective verses. But I mean, the strength gap and the role they actually play in their stories is vastly different. Like, Okubo is considered to be a genuine threat and, like, a very powerful fighter, but I mean, when you look at how impressive, you know, Okubo is considered in Kengan Ashura, and then you look at Sampierre Atlas and the fact that man got off-screened worse than the fight between Law and Hawkins in One Piece just recently, they did that man dirty. They did him so dirty in his chapter. Like, those 2 or 3 chapters were dedicated to him, and they did him so dirty, they had him narrate his own off-screen defeat. He was like, I got demolished. It was bad. It's pretty dirty. But, yeah, I mean, the man doesn't say these things for absolutely no reason. The simple fact of the matter is, you know, Okubo, he was able to basically go toe-to-toe with the Fang of Metsudo. You know, that right there goes to show you just how strong he really is. You know, he was able to, you know, hit the Fang before the Fang could even react when they first opened up in the fight. You know, he's able to hit the Fang, and the Fang's actually reeling from it. The Fang, you know, respects Okubo. That should be enough to tell you that he's a pretty powerful person. I mean, hell, even Ryan considers Okubo to be strong. And Ryan, as one of the heaviest hitters in Kengan Ashura, you know, he should be stronger than the likes of, like, you know, I wouldn't say, like, oh, he's as strong as Kuroki Gensai or, you know, the Fang of Metsudo. That, you know, that scaling doesn't even really work because you're scaling the Fang to Ryan, who scales to the Fang. It's kind of circular reasoning there. But, you know, as one of the strongest people in the tournament, you know, Ryan should be, you know, at least in the realms of, like, the Hammer of Burma, and we all saw what that almost did to Ray. Like, that's some pretty massive damage right there. So for Okubo to be in those realms of strength is, you know, vastly better than anything we could see from, you know, somebody as, like, short-lived as far as his appearance in the series as Sampierre Atlas. I mean, you know, in terms of speed and strength, I suppose the best we could give him is that, I couldn't find the exact manga panel, but in the manga, he's actually referred to as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the world, or in the, you know, public fighting world. So, like, not the underground stuff that Baki and his friends do, but, like, you know, he should be stronger than people like Joe Frazier, who was able to go toe-to-toe with Retsu and do pretty well. He should be stronger than people like Muhammad Ali. You know, Muhammad Ali is the best boxer in the world, should be stronger than Iron Michael from the Maximum Tournament, who I think they said he could hit as hard as a speeding car. So that in of itself is, you know, pretty impressive. You know, Ali's also able to tag a young Yujiro who's, you know, fresh off of Vietnam. You know, even during Vietnam, he was able to dodge bullets. The man was a bullet timer. So yeah, I mean, we see that, you know, like, you know, Sampierre Atlas, you know, in all fairness, should be around the realms of, like, dodging bullets and, you know, hitting as hard as a speeding car. You know, he should, you know, be able to not only do those things, but be faster and stronger than people who can do that. Because you gotta remember, Iron Michael was the one hitting as hard as a speeding car. And Ali is better than him as the world's best boxer. He should be stronger and faster. And as the best pound-for-pound fighter in the whole world, Sampierre Atlas should be stronger than even that. That still does not even come close to actually being able to do any significant damage to Okubo before he gets destroyed. To be able to land a surprise hit, like the Fang was surprised by Okubo's speed. To be able to land that kind of hit, he'd have to be, near the levels of Kuroki Gensai, who was able to, react to and keep up with Hypnotized Ray. Mikazuchi Ray. The very same Mikazuchi Ray who, at his top speed, fighting Kuroki Gensai, nobody in the tournament could see him. It was directly stated that there was nobody who could actually perceive his movements. He is far and low the fastest character in the whole of the Kengan Ashura tournament. So, I mean, he should be faster than somebody like Akoya. I mean, hell, he should be far faster than somebody like Akoya, who was able to not only dodge a bullet, he was able to dodge a bullet point blank. So we have someone who's as fast as, or roughly around as fast as, somebody who is way faster than somebody who can dodge a point-blank bullet, versus somebody who's, faster than, or not even faster than, possibly as fast as somebody who can dodge bullets. Like, the speed gap is massive. The strength gap is pretty big, too. Like, I don't think, considering the floor of the Kengan Annihilation Tournament, the floor of that arena is, like, solid concrete. And he, like, fragments it 6 ways to Sunday. Like, that man did to the floor what Saitama did to the meteor. Alright, like, that level of impact and that kind of strength, it's like, yeah, sure, it was considered to be like one of the higher end strikes in the tournament. It kind of reminds me of, that the one hit from like all the trailers and from like the manga that like kind of, at the very least, I was gonna say that it got everyone into Kengan Ashura, but at the very least I saw that hit and I was like, I need that, because he just turned that man into a lawn chair, is when Wakatsuki punches Gozo and like bends him in half. I was like, that man literally turned him into Mr. Fantastic. Like, okay. So, we're talking about like, people who can hit within that range. Like, I'm not saying all of Okubo's punches are a hammer of Burma, but, I'm saying that he could, if he were to punch the ground with his full strength, it's possible he could produce something similar. He's not that, I would at least say he's comparable. If he's weaker than, probably not that weaker than, and if he's stronger than, I would be remiss to say he's so much stronger. It's a lot easier to say that they're comparable, but, yeah, Sam just does not have the, he just doesn't have the feats to stack up to Okubo. Now, in terms of skill, I'd say they're both pretty equal. They're both, like, considered, like, world-class champion tier mixed martial artists. We see, Sam Atlas Pierre, he's got the feigns, he's got, like, the high kicks, and he's got what it takes to be, like, a world-class, mixed martial artist. And we see that same thing from Okubo. I mean, he has a more, like, regimented and concrete style. He switches from, like, locks and holds to submissions to, striking to ground game. He has, like a system he uses, whereas, like, Sam, it's much more like, I just have a plan of attack, and I, try to attack the person with whatever moves. So they have a different approach to it, but I would say they're pretty much fairly equal in terms of, combat skill. I mean, hell, Okubo is considered like the king of combat, the greatest mixed martial artist in the world in Kengan, and hell, Sam Pierre Atlas has been the UFC champion for 7 years. Like, we see at this point he is so bored of just winning that the man is like, okay, I want to become the strongest in the world. Like, he literally outright says, I'm tired of this belt. Like, that man took DJ Khaled's All I Do Is Win, and he made it his life. Like, it's impressive, for sure. But he just doesn't have the feats or the statements or anything. He doesn't have the physical stats to even come close to comparing with somebody like Okubo. So yes, the winner is without a doubt Okubo Namaya. it'd be a short fight, to say the least. I think Okubo would be able to disrespect my man Sam the same way that Baki did. I think he'd be able to off-screen him, force him to narrate his own loss, and hold back a yawn when he beat him. Like, I think that's, you know, in no way am I saying that Okubo is as strong as Baki, because he is just not. But, you know, in terms of, like, just how far the gap is, you know, it's like terminal velocity. You're falling at a certain height, at which point, like, you're not going to pick up any more speed. Like, you've reached the max amount of speed you can achieve while falling from any height. Like, be it somebody that is as strong as Okubo or Kuroki Gensai or the Fang of Metsudo, or we're talking about like Miyamoto Musashi or Yujiro Hanma. It doesn't matter. Sam Pierre Atlas is getting off-screened, and it's going to be bad. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I enjoy doing you know, fighter v fighter matches like this. I plan to make it a series. I've got a ton of fights lined up, and I think the next fight I'm looking at doing is Kaneda and his ability with foresight and improving as he fights versus Kaku Kaio. Well, since the anime just released with Kaku, I'm pretty sure most of you guys know how that's going to go, but I can't wait to either... I'm going to pull a Kengan on you. Either I'm going to be exactly what you thought, or I'm going to be completely against what you thought, and it's going to throw you for a loop. So, stick around for that one. You know, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications for when that comes out, and you can stick around. Leave a like if you liked the video. Leave a like if you didn't like the video. Shut up. And of course, comment. Comment on what kind of fights you want to see. Comment on what kind of content you want to see. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.
Up back to the house.